everyone, and welcome back to And the Adventure Continues. My name is Miss Liz Y. I also have Miss Liz O here with me today.
Hi guys.
So if you are just joining us, our new program And the Adventure Continues is a new read aloud program where every Friday at 3 p.m. we will be reading a different Choose Your Own Adventure story. If you are unfamiliar with Choose Your Own Adventure stories, they are really fun because you as the reader have the freedom to navigate the story and make choices for the character. So today I'm going to be reading an installment in the Scooby-Doo You Choose series. This one is called The House on Spooky Street. I'm going to be reading aloud our story, and Miss Liz O is going to be making those choices for us. So let's see how this adventure begins. Are we there yet? Shaggy asks for the 10th time from the back of the mystery machine. Not yet, Velma laughs as she answers for the 10th time. The Mystery Incorporated gang drives along the historic streets of New Orleans. They're on a mission to find their favorite celebrity chef's famous food joint. After a day of sightseeing, Shaggy and Scooby are looking forward to gumbo, grits, and everything barbecue. Fred drives the mystery machine down a street lined with old mansions and huge trees. Long ribbons of Spanish moss hang from the branches like gray rags. I think I took a wrong turn, Fred says as he looks around the neighborhood. There isn't a restaurant in sight. That's weird. I followed the directions the restaurant gave me on the phone, Shaggy moans. Now we'll never get to eat at Chef Emerald's Ragin' Cajun Barbecue Palace. Scooby whimpers sadly at missing out on the feast he and Shaggy had imagined. Don't worry, guys, I'll just turn around and, Fred starts to say. Suddenly, the mystery machine begins to sputter and slow. The van comes to a stop on the side by the residential street. Fred turns the key, but nothing happens. The vehicle is dead. Don't tell me you ran out of gas, Daphne says. Okay, I won't because we didn't, Fred replies and points to the gas gauge on the van's dashboard. The arrow points to a half-full tank. Maybe there's something wrong with the engine, Velma suggests. I'll go check under the hood, Fred says and climbs out of the van. Like, I don't want to be stuck here, it's creepy looking. Shaggy shivers as he gazes at the shadowy mansions. These homes are classic examples of antebellum architecture, Velma explains. I read all about them before we came to New Orleans. Suddenly, they hear a loud bang and the van bounces. Zoinks! Shaggy squawks as his hair stands on end. He and Scooby hug each other in terror. Relax, guys, that was Fred closing the hood, Daphne assures her fearful friends. I can't find anything wrong with the engine, but the mystery machine is dead, Fred declares. I guess we'll have to call for a tow truck. Fred pulls out his cell phone, but it is as dead as the mystery machine. Daphne and Velma try their phones, but their devices don't work either. All of our phones are dead. That's just weird, Daphne declares. Do you have to use the word dead in this spooky place? Shaggy asks. We're going to have to find a landline, Fred decides. He starts walking towards the nearest mansion. Wait for us, says the rest of the gang. They pile out of the van. Fred leads the way up to the house. The trees loom over the walkway and drapes of moss hang like tattered curtains. The air is as still and unmoving as a dead man's chest. Fred knocks on the antique wooden door. A tall, thin man opens it and stands as silent as a statue. His frown looks like it's carved in stone. Our van broke down and our cell phones are dead. Maybe we can use your landline? Fred gulps, intimidated by the imposing figure. The man gestures for the kids to enter. As soon as the gang steps over the threshold, the door shuts behind them with a haunting boom. They enter a foyer filled with oil paintings. The stern faces of the mansion's past owners stare down at the kids. Shaggy and Scooby shiver under their fierce gaze. That's weird, he just disappeared, Fred says as he looks around for the man who let them into the house. I guess we have to find a phone by ourselves, Daphne concludes. Let's split up, Fred decides. As the gang heads off in different directions, no one notices that a pair of eyes watches them from one of the portraits. And here we are given 3 choices. Option number 1 says, to follow Shaggy and Scooby, turn to page 12. Option number 2 says to follow Fred and Velma, turn to page 14. And option 3 says to follow Daphne, turn to page 16. What do you think, Miss Liz? Where should we go?
Well, I would like to follow Shaggy and Scooby because they always end up in the kitchen looking for food. And I just want to see what happens.
That's a really good idea. So let's turn to page 12 to follow Shaggy and Scooby and see how the adventure continues. Scoobs and I will look for a phone in the kitchen, Shaggy announces as the gang splits up. The two pals trot off down one of the hallways leading from the foyer. I hope we find a snack. I'm hungry, Shaggy says. Me too, Scooby agrees with a sigh. We're going to miss out on Chef Emerald's shrimp gumbo and his shrimp stew, shrimp soup, shrimp kebabs, fried shrimp, shrimp and grits, Shaggy recites. The pair continues to dream about the celebrity chef's delicious dishes until they finally find the mansion's kitchen. Suddenly, their conversation stops dead. Their jaws drop open and their eyes expand as wide as pie plates. Do you see what I see, Scoobs? Shaggy gulps in disbelief. Uh-huh, Scooby replies. Shaggy and Scooby stand in the doorway to the mansion's modern kitchen. Shiny pots and pans gleam like stars in the sky. The side-by-side double refrigerators are as large as the Mystery Machine. This isn't a kitchen, it's heaven, Shaggy proclaims. The pals forget all about finding a phone. They head straight for the fridge. The doors open to reveal enough food to feed a southern army. Like, maybe I'm not going to miss going to Chef Emerald's place after all, Shaggy says and reaches for a barbecued turkey leg. Y'all just hold up there, boys, a strict voice commands. What y'all doing in my kitchen? Shaggy and Scooby freeze in mid-grab. When they turn to face the owner of the voice, they gasp in surprise. A figure dressed in all white stands before them. It's a ghost, Scooby yells. Okay, here we are given two more options. Option 1 says, if Shaggy and Scooby run away, turn to page 18. And option 2 says, if they stand frozen in fear, turn to page 25. So what will happen next, Miss Liz?
Let's have them stand frozen in fear and just to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because they always seem to run away, so I want to see.
Right, what will actually
they
happen.
stay in place, yeah.
Okay, good idea. So let's turn to page 25 and see how the adventure continues. The ghoulish figure waves its ghostly arms at Shaggy and Scooby. The two pals stand rooted to the spot in terror. Suddenly, Shaggy starts to shovel food into his mouth. The specter looks at him in confusion. Hey, I always eat when I'm nervous, Shaggy explains with a shrug. In moments, the refrigerator is nearly empty and Shaggy's stomach expands like a balloon. Scooby shoves the supersized Shaggy toward the ghost. Shaggy bounces off the specter and the ghoul goes flying across the kitchen. It lands in a stack of pots and is buried under the cookware. Shaggy belches and deflates and lets out a loud burp. Scooby waves his paw in front of his nose and grimaces. Sorry, pal, there must have been a lot of garlic in that bowl of gumbo, Shaggy says. Bang! Clang! The ghost digs its way out of the mound of pans. It glares at the pals with a furious frown on its fearsome face. Uh-oh, Scooby gulps. Run! Shaggy shouts. The buddies take off in two different directions. The specter is left standing still, wondering which one to chase. By the time it decides to go after Shaggy, both targets are gone. Scooby tries to hide behind a rack of chef's aprons, but his shivering makes him shake on the hooks. The ghoul grins when he sees Scooby's big feet poking out below the aprons. It tiptoes up to the heedless hound. The spook reaches toward the rack of aprons. Poor Scooby-Doo doesn't have a clue. Clang! Shaggy comes up from behind the fiend and bangs the pair of pot lids like cymbals against its head. The vibration makes the ghost resonate like a tuning fork. It wobbles away on unsteady feet. Let's get out of here, Scoobs. This is one kitchen I don't mind leaving, Shaggy declares. And here we have two more options. Option 1 says, if Shaggy and Scooby search for the gang, turn to page 68. And option 2 says, if they hear Velma scream, turn to page 86. So what is it, Miss Liz?
I'm going to go with that they hear Velma scream
Okay.
because she doesn't always get herself into too much trouble.
No, I feel like Velma's usually the reasonable
Yeah.
one,
So if she's screaming, we want to find out why.
Right, we want to see what's going on. So let's turn to page 86 and see how the adventure continues. Shaggy and Scooby run out of the haunted kitchen as fast as their frightened feet can carry them. Screech! They come to a dead stop when they hear a shrill scream. Like, that's Velma, she's in danger, Shaggy gasps. The thought of their friend in trouble is the only thing that makes the pals run toward the sound instead of away from it. They race into the living room. Velma stands in the center of the room with her hands covering her mouth. Velma, are you all right? Shaggy asks. Velma does not move a muscle. It's as if she has been frozen. Her eyes are staring at a single spot across the room. And there I'm going to end our story for today. It does continue past this point, but we would like you all to come into the library if you're interested and check out this Choose Your Own Adventure book. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Choose Your Own Adventure books do have multiple endings, so you as the reader have the freedom to continue this adventure or choose your own adventure as you read. Thank you all so much for watching, and we hope to see you all very soon. Bye-bye.